In a remarkable turn of events, Gen Z activists in Kenya have wielded their collective power to compel President William Ruto to abandon his controversial tax proposals. Finance bill was dropped.
There's a sinister nature to the political class where he has said that he will consult widely, and he will consult both in public and in private. And the president has shown an affinity to love to consult the clergy and the political class in public, but consult the youth in private. That is why the youth end up in cells, they end up showing up in swamps, dead. And I say this without fear of contradiction, because I have not seen at any particular point the president make a deliberate effort to listen to the youth. And I say this because in the protests and demonstrations that we have led and orchestrated, the people the president has invited to the table has consistently been the clergy. It has been the political class. And that shows me that they are just trying to find ways in which to divide us. They have consistently infantilized this movement. That is why they insist on tagging it the Genz Revolution. While this is a Kenyan exercise, that's why they've insisted to call us our children. They've insisted to go the route of appealing to us from a parental angle, refusing to acknowledge the fact that this is a political undertaking that we are doing.
After that, Gen Z started seeking for the removal of cabinet secretaries. Now they are demanding accountability. But where did this whole thing begin? 1. Youth-led protests. Gen Z, the generation born roughly between the mid-1990s and early 2010s, initiated spontaneous protests across Kenya. These demonstrations, organized primarily through social media, expressed vehement opposition to Ruto's proposed tax hikes.
We do not want to hear anything we've had before, like coalition, dialogue. What's happening on Monday is called what?
Dialogue.
No.
The national dialogue.
It's a dialogue,
yes.
The forum.
Yes.
No, we don't want that.
Yes.
We don't want the president to use any more coins on appointing committees and calling upon
sectoral forum.
What are those? We've seen those with the other governments. Trevor, we need to appreciate what's going on in Kenya. Kenya is trending worldwide, being discussed. Kenya was discussed in the Ghanaian and Tanzanian parliaments.
Yeah.
There's a Occupy parliament in Uganda ongoing. The power is now with the people. Trevor, the moment young people entered parliament and sat on Moses Wetangula's chair, there's a lot of symbolism. And that is why the president dissolved the cabinet. That word broad, I have an issue with it. We need a lean government. And the president has an opportunity that his predecessors never had, because they had to appoint people and to reward people. President Ruto could be the biggest winner of the Gen Z's revolution, because he's been given an opportunity to do what the people want, and nobody will judge him for that. And no friend will have any feelings about him for that. Yeah. What I want to see, the people carrying less burden in terms of taxes. I want to see a leaner government. If we can have fewer CSS, better. Trevor, I think I might be the only person on this forum that may have the moral authority to say what I'm about to say, because I've been arrested 13 times and my message has never changed. I started this mandamanos 2 years ago. And if the president asked me today, he has a chance to make history and leave a lasting legacy.
Yeah.
We need a very lean government. And me, I would even suggest, you see what's happening with the Governor Wamatangi. I would suggest, Mr. President, take your time. Take your time. When you are ready, we need to find a way. Sijui kama tutaenda referendum, we need to cut down on the number of counties and governors from 47 to 24. Trevor, you've traveled. You've been to Texas. It is a state led by a governor it is twice the size of Kenya. Kenya enters into Texas 2 times, led by 1 governor. The president needs to leave a legacy. We need to cut down the number of governors in this country.
Agree.
I'm very disappointed in my friends. You have seen the work she does. Ni kazi nzuri sana. And the senator. How could we have a clause in the Finance Bill 2024 that taxes pads? Yet we have 47 women reps. They couldn't hold a forum and a manner and raise their voices as 47 women. What are they representing? What are they representing? As do we need women reps? If we had a clause,
that position is even.
We don't need the women reps. You know why? And I can confidently tell you, we don't need women reps because I had young men talking about pads and discovering pads in the Finance Act. While you have 47 women reps, wanafanya kazi gani? So the president needs to do away with people who need to be done away with.
Okay.
And upper kwa counties, he can go out as one of the greatest presidents in Africa because the world is discussing Kenya, and he has that opportunity to. Now, he started by dissolving the cabinet.
Yeah.
I know he will dissolve. He will fire all the parastatal heads. Yeah. He needs to fire the IG today.
Prime cabinet.
He needs to fire the IG today, not tomorrow. You know why? Yeah. The IG is a soldier. He's a policeman. He understands the nature of his job. He was in the line of fire. People died. Ataelewa President Ruto. He needs to be fired yesterday. Yeah? He needs to be fired yesterday. If the president attempts to meet politicians with the intention to start a coalition government, Ruto will be a one-term president. And utakumbuka isiku. He will be a one-term and he might not even get to 2027. Do not bring back anything that we've seen before. This is an opportunity for Kenya to be an example to Africa.
Okay.
Our CSs watapointiwa. Upon taking office, they must take a pay cut. So the power is with the people, and the advantage is with the president.
Yeah.
Upon assuming office, you must. Hata uko na hiyo kazi, we are not discussing with you. You must take a pay cut. Juu hatukujui, Justaki rais appoint watu tunajua.
Okay.
So we
want a completely new set.
It's a new set.
No known faces, nothing.
No, we don't want to see. With all due respect, we ataki kuona political nini. This movement, Trevor. You know, sometimes we are too humble. Once in a while you need to nini. Once in a while you need to blow your trumpet.
Too lenient.
It's allowed.
Yeah.
Trevor, sisi ndo tulianza hii kitu bana, unajua. We can on this forum we can say sisi ndo tulianzisha hii kitu bana.
Okay.
Mimi nimeshikwa mara ngapi hata bibi yangu alalangi 11 times. Juzi Trevor, Finance Bill 2023. I was arrested 8 times. But the message changed, the same thing.
Okay.
Mr. President, cut down on the number of governors.
Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel. Like this video and turn on notification. You can also write a comment. What do you think? Is our beloved country Kenya ending in the right direction? Thank you so much. Now guys, let us continue.
My fellow Kenyans, comrades and colleagues, for decades our country has faced endless spate of unresolved extrajudicial killings associated with political spectrum. I remember Law Society was involved in collecting evidence for the last Mandamano killings. To date, we are still demanding from IPOA, why haven't you tabled that report? Why haven't you held those policemen accountable? Why is the Inspector General of Police still sitting on that chair? We all know about the controversial death of P.O. Gamapinto in February 24th, 1965. Very few will remember January 29th, 1969, where Agwins Kodek, a pioneering Mau Mau lawyer, died in a car crash under mysterious circumstances. The families of Pinto and Agwins have never known justice, and the same fate befell Thomas Joseph Adhiambo Mboya on July 5th, 1969. Have we forgotten J.M. Kariuki on March 2nd, 1975? Where is the truth about Bruce Roy Mackenzie's death on May 24th, 1979? We are here today to stand for justice for victims. We do not want to leave any man behind. The stories of those who came before us, the different regimes, the different decades, are testament that when political stars and fights come to an end, there are bodies that are littered in the streets. There are bodies that are left for our kin to deal with. Yet no one knows justice. No one sees justice for those victims. I would go on until the cows come home. And you will all see that each regime in this country has had its fair share of assassinations in an attempt to eliminate persons perceived to be standing for something that the political class do not want. Killing of innocent Kenyans on the streets started with Mzee Jomo Kenyatta on the dark Saturday of October 25th in 1969, when Jomo's visit to Kisumu turned bloody. We all know how many Kenyans died during the struggle for multi-party democracy under Moi's 24-year rule. Abductions, torture, and painful deaths did not start with this regime. The police have merely inherited the vice from generation to generation. And we are saying, does it stop in this generation? Yes. Does it stop in this generation? Yes. It must end in this generation. No more abductions, no more extrajudicial killings. President Mwai Kibaki presided over the worst tide of killings. We cannot forget about the 2007-2008 post-election violence. And we do not ever want to go back there. Uhuru Kenyatta too was no different, because every year the local newspapers reported how many people disappeared mysteriously in the hands of law enforcement agencies. And just when we thought there was a new dawn in this country, new hope, a country where the head of state was brought in the mantra for the young people, a youthful leader, we have seen police disappointing this hope. And we are demanding from the head of state that his promise that there will be no extrajudicial killings in his tenure, in his reign, that he may hold truth to that. At least if for nothing else, let people not die for standing for their beliefs. Let people not be abducted for standing for what they believe is right. And we are still demanding from him to ensure that all those who have been involved are arrested and prosecuted before our courts of law. The civil societies are struggling to put together the data of injured people, both from gunshots, crude weapons, and attempts to follow up on missing persons. We know that there are families that are still reeling in pain and anguish, and yet we want to move forward. We want to move forward, but we want to move forward with justice for everyone. These families should not be struggling with paying medical bills, struggling with fundraising to bury their kin. Yet we have a state, we have a nation that the head of state has committed that they will be held accountable for each and every death, for each and every person who have been injured. I've visited people at Kenyatta National Hospital. Young men and women like you who now will never walk again. They have lost their hands. Where do they start? We cannot move on and forget them. For a nation to grow, we must move on together. And that is what we, the Law Society of Kenya, and coalition of all our partners here today are standing for. We want justice for each and every one of our members in this great country. Fellow Kenyans, today we want us to begin a journey of truth and justice. Today we walk back the hands of time towards tracing the whereabouts of our missing brothers and sisters. Walk with me as we seek justice for our fallen heroes of the leaderless revolution. We are going to ensure that we give our family the hope to wake up every morning knowing that their son or daughter whose remains are buried in graves spread throughout this country are not in vain. To that mother, to that aunt, to that sister, to that father, to that brother looking for their loved ones, please come to us. We have created a network of social and civil rights defenders working together to unravel these mysteries. Let this be the last time that Kenyans will take to the streets in peace, only for trigger-happy policemen to flood the same streets with their blood and walk scot-free. The plan is to set camp at almost every county that experienced police brutality during our protests. I want to raise my greatest appreciation for my different branch chairs all around the country that mobilized their members upon my request and call to go out to the different police stations all around the country. That is why we've been able to make a mark. Each and every one of my branch chairs, my council members, and every lawyer who heeded my request and call are the heroes that I can sing proudly from the Law Society side, coming to defend the rights of Kenyans and fighting against any trumped up charges, those who have been kept beyond the required period in prisons, and trying to ensure the safety and freedom of all Kenyans who had been arrested. There are so many people out there living in pain inflicted by the police. It could be mental health or just desolation. Please come out. Let our experienced team of experts offer psychosocial support to help you heal. Today we begin here at the historic Ufungamano House. We are coming to you all around the country. The Law Society of Kenya, together with all our partners here, have membership across the country, and with the support of our various branches and offices, have remained zealous and steadfast at protecting the Constitution. If we work together in this, then our defenseless families will not shed tears in vain.
2. Ruto's initial stance. President Ruto defended the tax increases, emphasizing their necessity to stabilize the economy and reduce the country's debt burden. His government argued that the finance bill was crucial for Kenya's financial sovereignty. 3. The unexpected shift. Despite his initial resolve, Ruto eventually capitulated. He withdrew the controversial bill. Instead of pursuing additional revenue, he now plans to implement public austerity measures. Notably, this includes cutting spending in his own office, a nod to public anger over perceived corruption and government extravagance. 4. Youth engagement. Ruto acknowledged the legitimacy of the protests, recognizing that the people had spoken. In an effort to connect with Kenya's youth, he promised to engage and listen to them directly. 5. Bruising days for Ruto. The protests were met with a heavy-handed response from security forces, resulting in fatalities. Ruto's credibility now faces scrutiny, as some wonder whether his U-turn goes far enough. 6. What lies ahead?
It's up to us to keep on doing our respective civic duties and to ensure that this regime goes. And by this regime, I mean all corrupt officials, all people who try to divide us along lines of tribe, any sort of division, will ensure that those kinds of people go. Yeah.
Did you attend the meeting on X space?
I attended the parallel space. I didn't attend the president's space because the intention was that we would boycott that space. Yes, so I never attended the president's space. Yeah, but I've listened to some of what people have said about it, and yeah, I don't think it was satisfactory to if you ask me. Yeah.
Since the demonstration started, we've seen you arrested, we've seen you all over the place, you have been there. Right now, are you safe?
I mean, you cannot claim safety in a country which kills innocent people. You cannot say that these people died because they were demonstrating. Some of them were found in their homes. So I don't know about my safety, but I know that if I do my honest part, my children are going to be safe if God blesses me with children. And my siblings, my younger siblings, the people who come after us are going to be safe. And that's what matters to me. Yeah.
And maybe since then, maybe when you were abducted, how has life been for you?
I mean, scary. And life has changed. I can't just eat anywhere. I can't just go anywhere. It's scary, but I mean, It's what we said. See, we said we are fearless, and we said we'll do it scared and unafraid. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Do you think we should continue embracing dialogue, or should we go back to the street?
What dialogue? We don't need dialogue. We just need the president to follow the constitution. We need this government we need him to maintain a leaner government. We need him to do away with corrupt officials, all those unconstitutional offices to be taken away, make IDs accessible, pay interns, doctor interns, pay junior secondary school teachers, give the youth jobs. That's not a thing for dialogue. If he wants to dialogue, he can dialogue. I mean, he's a Kenyan just like any of us, but we want him to follow the constitution. We want them to do the thing that we actually pay them to do. Yes.
Since you have been in the front line in this whole story, we have had the memorial concert today. What next?
I don't know. I can't speak for the movement. Yeah. I just know that if a call is made by fellow Kenyans, I will be there no matter what. I will be there for any cause as passionately as I have been from the first day, no matter what. Yes.
Yes. A message to the Gen Z, to the millennials.
Let nobody tell you that you're the leaders of tomorrow. We're the leaders of today. We have brought the government to its knees, and we have said that we will not take anything less than proper governance. Don't give up. I know it's a sad, depressing times, but do not give up. Do not give up at all. We are so close to the finish line. I can feel it. Let's do this. We can do it.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time.
I have a question for you. 3 questions. Now the second question. Who usually design these posters? Who come up with those ideas?
I really do not know. But when we show up, I share them. I'm just a Kenyan. Hivyo tu vile yeye hujui kitu inafanyika ndio vile mimi sijui kitu inafanyika. But I've just said hata wewe ukisema tuandamane kesho tukitoka MOH, ukituita maandamano Tuesday nitakuja with the same figure.
So you guys, you don't know who designs these posters?
Personally mimi niko peke yangu. Personally I don't know.
Okay, now
yes.
My first question.
Yes.
You have also said you don't know the future of Gen Z now that we are leaderless, because they say that a leaderless organization is most likely not to be effective in the long run. So what can you say about that?
I mean, we might be leaderless, but that does not mean that we have a shortage of good leaders. Leaders are going to come up. Wewe najua if you do proper civic education in your constituency, ukisimama they will give you. Mimi nikienda kwingine, wewe akienda kwingine, if all of us infiltrate all these things, we might be leaderless, but you'll realize we are the change that Kenya needs.
So you perceive in the long run Gen Z will have a leader?
Totally, not one leader, many leaders, many strong and good leaders. I believe it to the bottom of my heart.
So what's your message to those people who say they don't want to Gen Z to have a leader?
We don't need to have a leader right now. We don't need to have a leader right now because right now we are holding the government to book and to account. But when the time for leadership comes, I urge everybody, put yourself in there.
Now to my third question.
Yes.
What do you say to other countries because I've heard a country like Nigeria and Ghana, they are also going for a demonstration. What's my message to them?
Viva, viva, viva. It is the youth who've always done it and we will continue to do it. We will do it and do not be afraid. To our comrades in Nigeria, in Angola, in Mozambique, Botswana, Ghana, everyone who's been sending all these messages, do it. We are behind you as you have been behind us. Yes, viva to the youth of Kenya, viva. Goda, yes sir.
Even me, I have something to say.
Yes,
I'm the Gen Z.
Yes.
I'm the tear gas man. So I'm here. Goda is my name. Is my account number. Sawa, TikTok. Goda. I'm telling Mr. Ruto, what you have done there. What you have done there. I've seen my friends lying there. And you know the people who did that. Please, Mr. Ruto, please. Hawa watu wanafaa kutolewa manguo na waende hocha hivyo mguu. Those people who did that, hawa nyamauliwa, they are totally innocent. They are totally innocent. And Mr. Ruto, if you won't look those people and you are there just murmuring like sijui nini, we won't listen to that. Mr. Kindiki, wewe maandiko interior. Take those criminals, those are criminal. They are killer. If they can kill innocent people, take them home. Hakuna ati wanakaa huku Kanairo. They go home totally nyumbani. And the other thing is about money. Hizi pesa unatoa kila siku and I've removed 10 million from Ministry of Education, 10 million of hizi pesa unatenga state house unakula na bibi yako unatuchocha sisi. We are not fools. We are Gen Z. Hatuuzi uoga sisi. We are waiting for you, Mr. Ruto. Whether you like it, you will talk to us. If you don't talk to us, since in the 2027 election, sawa, we are going to vote. And we know the person we are going to give. Kama utacheza safe na akili zako ambazo ziko 100%, you will see 2027. But kama hauna, ndugu yangu, kama uta to face and talk to us ana kwa ana, you listen to us. Finance bill ulicheza chini lakini haukusign. Ulicheza chini na pia sisi tumecheza low. Unaona 20 speed vile unacheza vile tunacheza. Ukituambia umesign withdraw, well and good. Hapo tunajua umeanza kucheza safe. Don't tell us withdraw and you haven't signed. Hatuna any habari about that. Sisi pia tumecheza but please kutoa watu Uganda, Tanzania kukuja kuiba Kenya. Alafu you are calling at Genz are the thieves. We are not thieves. Maandamano nilianzisha na nilikuwa I was there. But mimi hakuna mtu aliguza kitu ya mtu. Isipokuwa wezi umeanza kuleta juzi wakuje kwa maandamano yetu kuiba, kuvunja duka za watu, kuumiza watu. We are telling you Mr. President, work on that and we are here. Na tuogopi na tuzi uoga. Sisi ni wale wa niite ngodha mgodhe. Niko Vulai. Niko Ndakuwas kama gari za Meru. Niko inside. Babu na sababu au sio? Babu kwa sababu mambo Vulai.
The question remains, do Kenyans believe that Ruto's withdrawal of the finance bill adequately addresses their concerns? Planned protests continue to demand accountability and transparency. In a parallel development, President Ruto recently engaged with Gen Z through an X Spaces conversation, discussing issues related to debt, unemployment, tax, and corruption. The power of youth activism has reshaped Kenya's political landscape, leaving us to ponder the lasting impact of this movement. Please subscribe to our channel. We have come to an end of this video. Please like this video and turn on notification. You can also write a comment. What do you think? Is our beloved country Kenya ending in the right direction? Thank you so much.